Steve Friend, your host. Welcome back.
Well, it's great to see you.
Good to see you.
It's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah. So, was on vacation, had a great time. It's good to be back now.
Mm-hmm.
And really just some really great things happening in our market right now. First off, I'll introduce again Gary, who's with us from Treasure Coast Lexus, our fixed ops director.
I'm back.
Good to see you, Gary. And we have a special guest today from the Toyota dealership at Treasure Coast Toyota of Stewart. His name is Shane Dufner.
Thank you.
So welcome aboard.
I appreciate you having me back. It's been
yeah.
about a year, and I'm
It's
glad
been a
to be
while.
back. And I'm not so special, but I appreciate the opportunity to be back here with you.
We think you're very special.
Thank you.
So I got a text message from Shane on Sunday evening, I believe it was, who asked if he would be able to come onto the show. And specifically, I think I asked him why. And he's got some great news. But before we get to that news, a couple of things that we find very interesting right now is that Treasure Coast Toyota of Stewart is named the fastest growing Toyota dealership, not only in Southeast Toyota, but in the entire United States. And that is attributable to their increase in sales volume. So they are making great deals, taking great care of the clients. And if you are in the market for a Toyota, there is no better place to go than Treasure Coast Toyota of Stewart. You can ask for Shane, you can ask for
Absolutely.
Amber Woods, who is the general manager of the dealership, who is doing an amazing job. And since she stepped foot in there and was promoted, it's clear to see that the volume has increased so significantly. So congratulations to the fastest growing Toyota store in the United States.
Wow.
Which is
Yeah,
really,
thank you.
that's
It's exciting. I'll tell you that. The amount of customers that we're having come in the store now and the buzz on the street about the products themselves and just how we're treating the client, it's exciting to be part of the whole thing. It really
Now,
is.
Shane, how long have you been there?
I've been there now going on 3.5 years, so this will be my 4th year.
So just a little bio on Shane. So now you were living in New Jersey,
I was.
and if I'm not mistaken, you were in your own business.
Yes, I've been in the automotive business since I was 13 years old, doing automotive accessories for the manufacturers and the dealers. And I came and visited Stewart for the first time about 5 years ago. Just fell in love with the area, and I was fortunate enough to meet up with the Woods family and become an employee there. And I haven't looked back since. I went back home, sold my house, sold my business, and said, "This is where I want to be and be a part of it." And I'm enjoying it.
So what do you find as a professional sales consultant? What do you think is the necessary ingredients to be successful in our business?
You have to, it's such a competitive business to begin with. What separates the best and what separates Treasure Coast Toyota and our staff is the way you treat your client. Not just the customer, they're family members now, making them part of that Treasure Coast family and making them know that, and that they know when they come in there, they're comfortable with who they're talking to. They know they're going to see the same face over and over again. There's not a big turnaround in salesmen or management staff, that they know that whoever they purchase that car from, they can go to with any problem, anytime, walk into that dealership and know that you're there. And make them feel part of that family, like I said, that's huge.
Well, I think when the turnover drops to virtually nothing, really in any business for that matter, it really gives a great degree of confidence when people come in and frequent the store and they see the same people and they're comfortable. So it makes a huge difference.
It's reliability, and that's what Toyota's built on, is reliability. And so why shouldn't your dealership and your staff be built on reliability and knowing that you're there to rely on?
You're not going to find any argument from
Nope.
me, and I don't think Gary would debate you on that one either.
No, well, we're the same at the Lexus store. There's no turnover there whatsoever.
It's so interesting because, people who have been very, very successful in the business, and I know that I've been in the business a long time like Gary, still doing business with the same people, 15, 20, 25, 30 years. One client still, it's almost 30 years, and every year or two he'll give me a call. I'm ready for the new one. And it's just based on trust, it's based on relationship, it's being familiar with them, and deliver a car down to Miami to them with no problem. So the relationship part of selling, is so critical. And it's really funny because most dealerships miss the mark on that. They just don't get it. Now, I read an article recently that most dealerships turn their sales force. It said the attrition rate is almost 76%. So that means that if you come in and buy a car, the following year when you come back, or in 2 years to come and get another car, or 3 years when you go to trade it, the likelihood of finding that sales consultant at that same dealership is next to zero.
Right.
And you look for that person.
Of course.
Yeah.
And, usually the managers, they weren't there either. So when they ask for the name, all it is like a little distant plaque on the wall that he did a good job. So Shane, what do you think the most important thing when clients come in to look at a newer pre-owned car, what's the most important thing to them? Is it the value? Is it the gas mileage? Is it the integrity of the store, the individual? What is it? Is it the service?
It's everything. It's an all-encompassing thing because they do have options. They do have other places that they can go and shop. So your first impression, you have to make, like it's always said, you only have 5 seconds to make a good first impression. You don't get that second chance. So you have to really show them that you care and listen, not just hear, but listen to what they're saying, because they're going to tell you how to sell them a car. They're going to tell you what they're looking for and what they want and where they want to be. You just have to listen and keep your mouth shut and let the customer tell you. And that's the nice part about being a sales consultant that I am. As a pro, you learn to do that. You learn to listen to the customer's wants and needs and how it's best going to fit their budget, their family, and that's how you get them to the right vehicle. You can save a lot of time and running around just by listening to a customer.
So you mentioned about being a pro.
Yes.
Now, a normal person off the street would say, oh, he's a pro, he's a professional sales consultant. But Toyota regards a pro in a different capacity. So why don't you tell us what it takes to become a pro
Sure.
for Toyota standards?
Yeah, absolutely. It's in the Southeast region of Toyota that they have a pros certification where you have to sell X amount of cars a year and have a CSI that's above 97, 98%, your customer satisfaction rate. So you have to treat the client with a certain way where they are recognizing, they put in a survey about you and how well that you were treated there. And so it's not always about just selling a car, it's about how you're treated as well.
But there are also volume levels that you need to attain
You
as
have
well.
to obtain about 160 to 180 cars a year in sales,
Right,
which is
so
not
on
easy
average,
to
a
do.
minimum of 15 a month.
About
on
15
average.
cars a month, and as on average. So you have to really go out of your way to make those customers happy, as well as sell a number of vehicles. And,
Sure.
and Toyota appreciates that, and they reward us within the dealership as well as the salesmen themselves.
Well, I
if
believe
you
that
treat
when-
clients well, you get
Yep,
referrals.
Exactly.
And you get
That's the main
referrals,
thing.
and when you're the best of the best at what you do for a living, I believe you should be recognized. And I know Toyota, Southeast Toyota does recognition like that, and I know that there are a lot of accolades in a dealership besides monetary. Okay,
Yep.
monetary is always great. However, we found that most people, besides the money part of it, it's the recognition. And when you introduce somebody and they stand up in front of everybody and they are the best of the best, there's a lot to be said about that. And
It's
it goes-
self-satisfaction knowing that you've done a
Of
good
course.
job and for your clients as well. It gives you a good sense of being and gives you something to look up for today. I'm going to help someone today. I'm not just going to sell a car. I'm helping someone.
Well, you mentioned just a little while ago turnover, and that sense of security is worth something too.
Sure.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, Veronica, so let's take you for example.
Okay.
Because you like to go out and you like to look at trucks and you go buy trucks.
You know what? I'm always looking for the next new one.
Right. So how often have you gone back to the same place and visited with the same sales consultant?
It's only happened a couple of times.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's interesting
Because
is,
I'll go long and far to find that perfect car with the perfect deal where I'm treated good too. I mean, I've gone all the way to Arcadia, so
yeah. But now the mouse can do the traveling for you.
this is true.
Now it's easy.
Yeah, but see, I'm like I have to see. I shop the vehicle. I know what vehicle that I want, and then I'll go what dealer's going to treat me the way that I want to be treated, and then the deal.
Sure.
How do you
So-
find that out, Veronica? Do you go online, look at reviews and stuff like that?
Not really.
No?
Usually it's in person on the lot.
Word of mouth or anything like that steers you
Not
in
really.
the direction of
Yeah, I
anybody?
have so much experience looking at cars.
Yeah, that's true. You do. You're probably not the best example in the world.
This is a professional
Yeah.
looker,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Professional
I'm a-
looker.
I'm a
Professional tire
customer.
kicker.
Well, so Shane, so there's exciting news at Toyota right now. And why don't
There
you
is.
share with the listenership as far as what the new product is and what all the buzz is about?
Well, let's start with the old product first because everyone knows the Toyota Camry. Been the best-selling car in the world for how many years?
16 years in a row.
I mean, you can't beat that car. People know Camry. It's synonymous with being reliable, safe, low cost of repairs, maintenance, and now they've one-upped themselves. They really have gone over the top with this new 2018 Camry that we now have on our lots that comes with the Toyota Safety Sense standard, so you're getting the pre-collision warning systems with the pedestrian alert to help stop the vehicle in the event of a collision. It has the dynamic radar cruise control to keep you safe distances from the people in front of you. Automatic high beams. All of these things are standard features without a big increase. I mean, we've gone from a 4-cylinder engine that was getting less than 200 horsepower to well over 200 horsepower now with an 8-speed transmission that's giving you 40 miles to the gallon in a car. That's not a hybrid. This
Now,
is
these
just a
cars,
regular
you still
gas
need to get in
engine.
the car and drive it, though, right?
Oh, not for long. I'll tell you that. That's the next thing that's
And
coming.
Camry's today's midsize car, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's a totally redesign. While it still has that appeal to everyone, now it's even for a younger generation with these lines that it has. It has heads-up display that you can get as an option, where you can see the miles, how fast you're traveling just by looking at your windshield. You never have to take your eyes off the road. Everything is push to talk, so you
Only
keep
to
both.
text, right?
You don't even have to text. You can talk to it, and it'll text for you. So
okay.
I mean, and answer your phone call. All of that is done for the safety of the consumer, and they've really outdone themselves with this car. Now, that doesn't mean I still don't have some 17s left that I can give you some amazing deals. I can give you $5,000 off of 17 Camry and save you a lot of money, and you're still going to get that great reliability. But just to introduce that new Camry, everyone's going to be buzzing about it.
So that's exciting. And you do have them in stock
It
now.
is. Yes, we do. We have a number of them in stock, ranging from the base model to the top of the line. So come on down, take a look at them, test drive them with me. I'll be happy to show you all the new features and show you and compare the differences so that you can see for yourself. It's exciting.
So we were just looking at the brochure before we came on to the show, and it doesn't look all that much different from a Lexus ES350 when you really look at it. Okay, I mean there are differences. Don't misunderstand with powertrains, engines, warranties, and what have you. But for the money, okay. Now this LE Camry, what is the base price? Does it start at?
You're going to be right around $26,000.
Okay,
Just a
which
little under
is
$26,000.
right in the middle of best-selling mid-sized.
Oh,
that is
absolutely.
the price point. And what's nice about that is it gives you flexibility whether you want to lease a car, and a $26,000 price point on a car with a couple grand down basically puts you in an average payment, which is, $450, $500 a month, which is the average car payment that most people are paying right now. And to be able to get a 2018, I'm very attracted to it only because of the 40 miles per gallon. And
That's
what's
huge.
nice is all the safety equipment as well.
Yeah.
And speaking of Toyota, just a note aside, so last week in Plano, Texas, Toyota's new headquarters, national headquarters for the United States, opened up in Plano, Texas. This is a $1 billion facility on 100 acres. They call it a campus, almost like a college. Huge. And while I was away on vacation, I had opportunity to talk to some of the executives with Toyota and with Lexus as well. And they were talking about it, and they said it is just incredible how it was built. So headquarters is moving from Torrance, California, and moving to Plano, Texas, where everything is affordable.
Well, now Torrance, Plano, I'd have
Well,
to go. Yeah,
you know-
let's move to Texas, right?
there's pluses and minuses to everything, okay?
Yeah.
But
But that was going on a little bit. I mean, Texas, I think, was trying to get businesses to move from California because California is not exactly all that. They're taxing people.
Well, they say
and-
they're not as
expensive.
tax-friendly as Texas.
Right, right.
And I remember the governor of Texas was called out many times because he was not campaigning, but he was soliciting businesses in
luring them
California.
maybe a little.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, there are a lot of tax benefits,
Yeah.
just like Florida. I mean,
And wide open spaces, that's for sure.
Exactly. And plus the fact that housing is a lot more affordable there, too. I mean, in California, I know I have relatives there, and when we go out to visit once a year, it's really expensive to live there. So, for the people who are going and moving there, it's really a great opportunity. It's a nice place to raise kids, and from what I understand, it's really a beautiful, beautiful area.
And there's no earthquakes, and it won't break off and fall into the
Yeah,
Pacific
the only
Ocean
problem
and
is
stuff.
tornadoes in the spring.
Or
Yeah, well.
hurricanes. So each area has its own issues. So besides the Camry, okay, what is the best-selling product that you have right now?
Right now, you can't beat our RAV4s. They are just, and it's a great product because it gives people the opportunity who don't need a big SUV. They don't need that kind of room, but they don't want a mid-size sedan. They want something different. My wife has a RAV4. My kids have a RAV4. The versatility that you get in that vehicle with the gas mileage and the price point, again, being very similar to the Camry, you just get that different look. You get that easy to get in and out of. And I find even my older clients find it easier to get in and out of the RAV4 because they don't have to get down into a sedan or get up out of it, but they slide right into it nice and easy. And another huge seller for us, they're actually having to build a whole new plant just for the Highlander. That Highlander has taken off. I can't keep enough of them in stock. With that 8-speed transmission that they put in there now, and you're getting in the mid to upper 20s in gas mileage and a luxury SUV.
That's a full-size vehicle.
That's a full-size SUV. And people are realizing, if you read Consumers Report, you read any of the third-party sources, there's nothing but raves and rants about how great that vehicle is.
And of course, you have the Tacoma pickup truck.
Which speaks for
Now,
itself.
the interesting statistics about the Tacoma is that it holds the best resale value out of any pickup truck. And there was a recent article in USA Today about that, the 2017, about the all-wheel drive, the TSD, was it?
Yep.
And it's the one that's slightly lifted with the bigger wheels and
Correct.
tires. And I said it was a great off-road vehicle, probably one of the best that's made in that category, but also it was smooth as silk on the highway as well. So you got this off-road chassis, and the truck just runs unbelievable on the highway
And you
as
pull
well.
the boat on the weekend.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can. That's another nice thing about the new Tacoma for this year, or in the past 2 years now. You have almost a 6,000-pound towing capacity on a mid-size pickup. Because of what they've done with the engine and the transmission in there, people don't have to go to a full-size pickup in order to be able to tow their boats, which is huge.
And spend the extra gas.
And spend that extra gas and miles. Yeah.
Interesting. So you also have the Toyota Prius, the legendary Prius.
The legendary Prius.
And what's the gas mileage on the base?
You're getting most of my clients now that tell me and this is one thing Toyota does do that other manufacturers don't. They under-promise and over-deliver. So they say you get 51 to 52. I have my customers come back and say, Shane, I'm getting 60 miles to the gallon with this Prius. How the heck are they doing it? And I said, I don't know. Don't argue with it. Just keep driving the same and enjoy it.
It's interesting. The same thing. We hear that on the CT200H,
Right.
the
Exactly.
Lexus model, and it's rated at 42, and it's not uncommon for people to come in 47, 48 miles to
Yeah.
gallon, which is amazing. Now, the thing that caught my eye before, as we were talking, this 2018 LE Camry Hybrid, the gas mileage is 51 miles to the gallon in a 4-door midsize sedan. Is that
That's correct. Yep. They've tweaked the systems and made the batteries better. They've done more with the engines and again the transmissions, all working together where you're going to get a mid-size sedan that gets you the mileage that a Prius would get you. Over 50 miles to the gallon. I mean, Toyota is just doing some wonderful things, and we at the Treasure Coast Toyota right there in Stewart, you come in and see me, I'm more than happy to go over and show you, because I'm so excited about it myself, that it excites me to show it to you. So stop it. I want to show everyone these things.
For those of you who are not watching us on the YouTube channel and are just listening to Shane speak, it's amazing with his hands going and everything because you can see the passion and the excitement in him. And
Slapped
it's really
me in the
great
face
to see.
twice already.
That's why I'm sitting on the end. But bottom line is that, it's great to see such a passionate approach and feeling about the product and about the store and about what you do.
And we're not going to lose a customer over money either. That's the one thing you will never find with us. You bring us your best deal, we're going to beat it. There's no reason to go shop anywhere else because of the way you're going to be treated, the professionalism that's there. the way we care about you as a client, that you won't go anywhere else.
Well, if they go anywhere else, that means they're going to go upstream and they're going to come visit us at Treasure Coast Lexus in Fort Pierce.
There's another opportunity
So,
there.
I mean, we're so blessed because we really do have the two best franchises that anybody who ever wanted to go out and take their money and invest in a car dealership, it's the Lexus and Toyota brand that you definitely want to do.
Absolutely.
I mean, Toyota is I believe, the biggest manufacturer in the world. It's interesting being in Europe for a week last week. There are so many Toyotas on the road there, and you see them all ages, and they're actually different models than what we see here with different names. So a lot of the cars that are sold in Europe are not sold here. And it's just really quite interesting. But it's like the #1 nameplate there. That's what you see. And a lot of they have smaller Toyotas. They have hatchback Toyotas that we don't see here. A lot of Priuses there. So and it's interesting because we found that at least in the country we're in Switzerland, it's extremely environmentally conscious. So I mean, a lot of people are doing. You see them riding bikes to work, which is pretty interesting.
Oh, they'd hate me.
We don't see a lot of people in our country riding bikes, but what's interesting is they have.
No, I'm in my big truck.
You do not see a lot of the big pickup trucks in Europe. And
I'd
for
be
example,
lost. I mean, how do you bring home a sheet of plywood?
Yeah. Well, we went up to a couple of these mountains that are 3,000-4,000 feet up, and they're building these homes that are overlooking, that are embedded into the mountain. And my wife asked the question, well, how did they get all the supplies up there? And it's like by these cogwheel trains, not by trucks, because
Okay.
they really don't have the roads. And these are like 45-degree angles that you're going on. So I relived my fear of heights. So anyway, you've mentioned about very, very low maintenance costs and the reliability. And, of course, that's where Gary can really give us a lot more advice and suggestions and different things about maintenance and about the different warranties that come with both the Toyotas and with the Lexuses. So, Gary, what is happening right now? We're towards the end of July. It's 95-degree average out there. You can cut the air with a knife. What's happening in the service world? What do you see going on? And what kind of advice can you give to our clients as far as the serviceability and what they should be doing to take care of their cars?
Well, we've talked about this on several different occasions about the low-cost maintenance of both the Toyota and the Lexus product. As far as your outlay of cash for maintaining the automobile, it's like those two automobiles they rank in the very bottom of maintenance for expenses and stuff like that. So there's not a whole lot you have to do to the car, just regular maintenance on the car. Bring the car in every 5,000 miles. Have the certified technicians look the car over, get the tires rotated or the oil changed, whatever's required at that time. In the heat, batteries, brakes, batteries, and tires, those are the key words, the buzzwords in the car business in the summertime, especially getting the batteries.
I want to ask you a question about batteries because you've taught me a lot about it. So in both our stores, and I would assume in most new car dealerships, they have these high-tech battery testers that will actually give a readout and a printout for the client, which we attach to the multi-point inspection.
Correct.
That shows the strength of the battery. I guess you call it the cranking power of the battery.
It measures 3 different areas: cold cranking amps, state of charge on the car, and the battery voltage. You could have a battery that the state of health would be good, but the state of charge would be bad. That usually will fail a battery. The
reason why I brought that up and wanted you to talk about that is because the car can start perfectly. You would never know that there's anything brewing or anything wrong. And then when you come out of the store, out of Publix, and it's 150 degrees outside, and you got your ice cream sitting in the back seat, and you go to turn the key, nothing happens, and you don't have any warning. And that's one of the reasons why we suggest, the maintenance schedules are such that we're able to get these cars in and check them. And we have services every 5 or 10,000 miles, depending upon which model it is and the type of oil that they use.
Right.
But we run those tests all the time in both stores because we would never, ever want our clients to get caught like that. Because there is no warning when a battery goes bad. And it happened to me quite a while ago. It almost happened to me. Thank God you were able to correct the problem.
Right.
And get a battery replacement for no charge.
Yeah, the state of health failed on your battery. Everything else looked good, but the state of health was really low on the car, and it would have left you stranded.
And it was interesting because the dial was showing like 13.5 volts.
Right, in the car, that gauge, yeah.
And
That's the voltage, battery voltage in the car. It can be high, but again, the cold cranking amps are low in the car. The batteries are rated with certain cold cranking amperage depending on what kind of vehicle that you're driving. So let's say if your cold cranking amp is rated at 585 amps to start the car, and the battery, the average for the state of charge for the battery, if the cold cranking amps are drawn down to 485, so you're missing 100 amps of cranking power. So the car may start a couple times, but sooner or later it's going to leave you stranded, and that'll come up on the state of the health on the battery.
now, do you remember a couple weeks ago, we had a client, we ran the test on the battery, and he recommended a new battery.
Mm-hmm.
The technician did, based on the results of the test.
Right.
And the guy called up complaining that he thought we were trying to sell him something that he didn't need. And it turned out he bought an off-brand battery.
He did.
Okay, from not to be mentioned, and that's okay. But the thing is that it was the wrong battery that they sold him.
Right.
So explain, when you don't have the proper battery in the car, what's the impact?
Well, this particular automobile, they put the wrong cranking amperage battery in the car. They put it in at a higher cranking average thing. So their tester, which isn't quite as sophisticated as ours, measured that battery based on the cranking amps of the battery that was in the car. When we put it on our GR8, the cold cranking amps on the battery showed that it was very, very low. There was like a 200 amp difference in it,
Which
like
is huge.
that, which it's
Yeah.
huge.
Mm-hmm.
So we told him, we weren't trying to sell him a battery. We knew that it wasn't a Lexus battery in the car. We told him that, hey, this battery is going to die on you. He took it back to the place that he purchased the battery from, and they ran a test on it, and their test equipment said that the battery was good and it just needed to be charged. So he called me on the phone, had some concerns about it. We invited him in, did the test again for him, and explained to him the three primary measurements on a battery that you need to be concerned about. And sure enough, the state of health on his battery was very, very low. So what happened after that, I don't know. I think he took it back to him and asked. He said, "Look, just go back there and ask them to replace the battery."
And they did, based on your
Yeah,
recommendations.
they did.
So, I mean, even though it wasn't through us, but we still cared enough to make sure that, wait a second here. We don't
What's
want you to get
amazing
stuck.
though is he thought you were trying to sell him something,
Right.
but he went and he bought it somewhere.
Well,
else.
Veronica, that's
That
one of the
happens.
reasons why I'm bringing it up, because
Yeah.
it does happen. Because, and this is certainly not to disparage any other repair shop, because in their ways, I'm sure they're all good and they're local, and a lot of people frequent these different places, but they're not created equal. And when a new car agency invests millions of dollars in their showroom, in the shop, and hundreds of thousands of dollars in training their technicians, there's got to be something said that makes a difference. It was a great article the other day in USA Today that, and I really apologize for not having it because I could have read portions of it. But this writer was talking about why it's important to bring your car back to the selling dealer for service. And the whole thing was about the expertise, the type of tools that they have. I mean, our dealerships are huge investments. And, the owners are not building these dealerships for themselves. They're doing it to give the level of service that people not only demand but deserve. So when we recommend things, now I'm sure there are other dealers that recommend stuff that maybe it isn't on the up and up, and I won't speak for them. I could only speak for our two stores. When we recommend things, we do it based on Toyota and Lexus specifications specifically. So we know that, and we document everything. So it's just like, for example, when people come in and, we have a price match guarantee on tires. And tires is not really a profit center for either of our stores. It's a necessity, it's an accommodation, and we feel that we want to be a one-stop shop. So there are times when people go ahead and will quote, for example, on Michelin tires on an RX or a particular car, and people will shop that, and they tell us they got the tires for $300 less. So we'd like to inspect it. When they come back in, it's not the same tire. So it's different,
Right.
a different rating, a different tread design. So just because it's a Michelin tire, for example, or Pirelli or Goodyear or whichever brand, it doesn't mean that you're comparing apples to apples. Everything has its price, and everything works in a car for a specific reason.
Right. Manufacturers work on two different things for tires especially. They're called OEM and OEA. OEM is the original equipment manufactured tires, and OEA is the original equipment alternative tires. Those are the only tires that we'll put on your Lexus because these engineers are a lot smarter than I am, and they designed that car to run with those tires. They work hand in hand with the tire manufacturers who develop and design a tire, particularly for the ride, comfort, and safety of that particular automobile. So there's speed ratings and tread depth. It's all kinds of. It's almost like a science.
But they are designed specifically for that model.
Specifically for that
and
model.
for the suspension and the type of drive and the handling. And, of course, there's different tires that are sold down here than, for example, in the Northeast.
Sure, absolutely.
So, you really need to know what you're buying. And that's really an important distinction because a lot of our clients, specifically at the Lexus store, are snowbirds. So if they did buy the car up north, and let's say they decide that they're going to stay down here, it might behoove them to really take a look at that
Right.
and determine whether or not it's the right
Sure.
tire for 90 plus 100-degree weather.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
Well,
Yeah,
up
that
north-
pavement's hot.
Exactly,
well-
and it's a different type of tire that you
Up
need.
north, I was involved in two different Lexus stores up north owned by the same gentleman, and we had clients that would put winter tires and summer tires on their car. And every year, just like clockwork, they'd come in and, okay, put my winter tires on.
Did you
Which they-
store the tires for them?
Sometimes
Yeah,
we
we
did.
used to do that.
Yeah, we used to do that, and then they come back and, oh, your tires are gone, so we kind of stopped doing that.
Do they still use snow tires up north?
They're called winter tires. They're all weather tires.
So it's not the
It's
old
not a
type
s- yeah,
big
it's not a-
tread.
yeah, no, because
Remember they used to have studs. in the
Studded
tires?
snow tires, yeah.
And then they chains.
Chains,
Remember
yes.
that?
Yeah, I grew up with all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Steve was talking earlier about diagnostic equipment. Lexus and Toyota, they mandate the type of diagnostic equipment that we have in our stores. And we don't even have an option. They send it to us. If it's needed in that store, they send it to us. That we had this monstrosity of a box show up one day at the dealership. And we
And it was a
opened it up.
monstrosity of a bill, I remember.
Oh
too.
my gosh, we did ever. And it was specifically designed for the hybrid vehicles. It was a toolbox, and the toolbox is orange. If you go into our dealership, everything is color-coded and matched, and the toolboxes are all built into the walls, and it's very uniform. This is a bright orange toolbox that has nothing but hybrid tools in it for the technicians to work on this hybrid vehicle. So we don't have an option. Our battery tester, if you go to a lot of different places, you can even go to a Pep Boys or a Sears or something, you can buy a battery tester. It's a little teeny thing that looks like an iPad or something like that. Our battery tester in our store costs $13,000. It's called a GR8, and it tests everything in the automobile. That's why it's important to test the three important things on a battery. So you know that you won't go out and, like Steve said, with ice cream in your car, go to start it up, and and we get these calls all the time to where, hey, I just had my car in your dealership and my battery's dead. Well, that doesn't happen at our store because we do several different things with the batteries. We test them, then we pull the battery post off of the terminals, we clean those, and then we put a battery pad on there in case there's any kind of acid or grease or something, because a lot of people don't know this. If a battery gets dirty, that's why you see most of the batteries these days are encased in these little boxes. If a battery gets debris on it and stuff like that, that's pulling amperage because it pulls the amperage away from the post to start the car, and it's sitting on top of the battery.
Sure, and the closer you live to the coast, probably the more trouble you have.
Yeah, you have a little bit, but we put battery pads on the car. It's part of our services and stuff like that because we don't want you to call me the next day and say, hey, my battery's dead in my car.
You know, Gary, I remember a few years ago at the Toyota dealership when I was down there, and the service director came up to me and says, we need to get a couple of battery testers. And I really didn't know all that much about it. I don't have that depth of experience like Gary does as far as those tools and stuff. And I said, yeah, go ahead. You just need two? And when I almost fell over when I saw it. But you really, if you're running this type of an operation, the clients deserve to have it.
By the way, that was me that told him that, so he forgets that part.
Because you can't operate without
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
and it's a disservice.
Well, you have a quality product, and to keep that product running,
Quality service.
you have to have, you
Very
offer the quality
transparent,
service.
Very
yeah.
transparent.
Yeah, you do, as with tires. Shane,
Yep.
tell us about the lease programs right now that we have on the RAV4.
On the RAV4, the lease programs are amazing. I mean, with only a couple $1,000s down, you're going to get into a vehicle like the RAV4 between $350 and $400 with just a couple $1,000s out of your pocket, and that's just
I
not your
assume
base.
That's a
This
pretty
is-
loaded up one.
Yeah, this is not your base
Uh-huh.
base This is your middle of the road XLE Camry. RAV4.
You got a Camry on your mind.
I know, I really do. You can get blind spot monitoring in it. You've got, again, all those safety features standard in it for your family. And another thing that we do at Treasure Coast Toyota, just to emphasize what a great product it is and holding up over time, we give you, as a gift for doing business with us, a lifetime powertrain warranty. What other dealership's going to do that and back up their product like that? We know your engine, your transmission, your front-wheel drive components are built so well, and if you maintain that car according to the specs that are out there like Gary was talking about, you're going to have a vehicle that you know you can rely on for 20, 30, 40 years, get passed down to your children and have 3, 4, 500,000 miles on it. They just brought in a truck to, I believe, Texas, at that new place, where a gentleman who bought a Tundra pickup had 1 million miles on it. And they brought it in for the technichts just to tear it apart and look at it and say, oh, what a great truck, and see how wide
It even pulled the space.
You wear
shuttle.
out the seats.
But that's something that you get for money that's well spent. The leases, it gives you an opportunity to have the vehicle for 2 or 3 years, and then if you want, if you might be in a different place, you might need, your family's growing, you might need a bigger SUV or truck, or you may even need to downsize. Some of the kids have left home now. You can go down to a Camry or a Corolla. So that's the nice thing about Toyota. They have a price point for the young, starting at the Yaris, working all of the way up to a Land Cruiser. But they've set it
And
up.
further up to the Lexus.
And then you can go right into the Lexus products after that.
Well, what's interesting is we have a lot of the same clients.
Yep.
So, and we know that because, like, for example, one of the people in the family might be driving a Lexus ES or an RX, and another one has a RAV, or they have this or that. So you have multiple car families now, and they love the Toyota brand, and they wouldn't hesitate. And the Lexuses, the lease programs on them, we've talked about this. We're going to get to that shortly. But the lease programs are just exceptional. It's great to have the flexibility with those two models.
I was just talking to a client yesterday in the showroom, who he drives a Lexus and his wife drives a Toyota.
Sure.
Purchased a Lexus from us and the Toyota from the
Not uncommon.
Toyota store. It happens all the time.
And they cross car wash, meaning
Yes.
that a lot of our Lexus people who live further south in the Stewart market, Steve, would it be okay if I bring the car in to the Toyota dealership for a car wash, and vice versa.
Absolutely.
So, we see that all the time. So we know that there's a good conglomerate of business from both stores together. Gary, some of the service specials that you have running right now. that are
Yes,
gonna
we've
run
got some new
into,
ones.
August. Yes.
Got some new ones coming too.
Great.
Really, this is an exciting one. We are doing a back to school special. I know it's hard to think about people going back to school already. Man, when I was a kid, we used to go back to school in September. Now they're going back in August. What's up with
after
that?
Labor Day.
I know, it's
Yeah.
crazy, crazy. But for
I guess there's a lot more trouble you can get in with 2 months off.
Right.
that is true. That is true. Our back to school special is that you can get a synthetic oil and filter change, plus a tire rotation and free brake inspection, complimentary brake inspection, plus a multi-point vehicle inspection, which we do. And that's where we find the batteries and stuff like that are going bad in the car, for $59.95.
Wow.
So that's
full synthetic.
Yeah, that's full synthetic or synthetic blend, whatever your car needs. If it's
That is a great
it's
deal.
it's an awesome deal. So come in and take advantage of that. And during the multi-point vehicle inspection that we do on the car, if we happen to find anything that needs attention on your car, we have other coupons in our mailer that's getting ready to go out where you can save additional money. So let's say that our technician noticed that you needed a cabin filter or an air filter in your car, needed to be replaced. I have a $25 customer appreciation cash coupon that you can use in conjunction with that. Normally, when you see coupons, there's these big disclaimers in them that says can't be used and combined with other specials
Right.
and stuff. We're throwing that out the window with this special. If you bring the car in for the $59.95 oil change and you need some other additional repairs, you can use any coupon that we have.
In addition to that, Gary,
In
if I may
addition
say,
to that.
you
In
can
addition to
also
that. So
any other Lexus store coupons. we will
yes,
accept.
yes, and we'll work on any other products as well. We've got technicians there. They're Lexperts mostly. They're certified Lexus technicians, but they're smart enough to work on a Lexus. They can work on any other car.
I was
that's
just
out
thinking
there.
that, yeah.
They can do that. So we've got our customer appreciation cash. That's $25 you can use for anything. We have our military discount, as we always do, because we love to honor our vets, active duty and retired. That's $25 as well. We've got our do-it-yourself parts specials for any over-the-counter part, 20% off. Like Steve was mentioning earlier, we do competitive tire pricing. We have something that's been very successful lately is a Saturday service special to where you can receive 10% off your entire bill if you bring your car in on Saturdays to get it worked on. And our senior citizen bonus discount coupon, because we love our senior citizens. I'm one now.
Congratulations.
Well, I get an AARP card, though.
Yeah. Got one too.
Notice we're all silent on
Yeah,
that.
everybody's quiet. There's 10% off your entire service bill for that. We have another very popular special that's gaining some traction is our Lexus Spa Package. For $388, you get your car completely detailed from top to bottom. Once that's done, we'll change the oil, top off all the fluids, adjust all your tire pressures, rotate your tires, and we will clean your fuel injector system on your car for $388.88.
Wow.
You can't beat that, and it's gaining a lot of traction, so it's keeping our detail department very busy, and they do a very good job with these cars as well.
One thing that stands out that Shane said about the reliability. So that brings us to the Lexus L-certified vehicles that we sell. And L-certified is just another word for our certified pre-owned Lexuses. And we're in a very blessed position where our dealership is located. We do close to 85% leasing now, which means that at the end of 2 years or 3 years, the majority of these cars come back to us. And they come back with very, very low mileage. Maintained by us with complete service history. And we have an opportunity to buy them from Lexus Financial Services. And we take those cars in. We inspect them first, obviously, if we want to make sure that those are the ones we want. And then we will certify the car, which is a rigid 163-point inspection, which we've spoken about before. But the beauty is that for people who drive a lot of miles, and it's interesting because I've been meeting people up here that drive down to the Palm Beach market.
Sure.
I do just the opposite. I drive from Boynton Beach up this way every day, so I'm driving about 150 miles. But I never realized that so many people will drive down that way to work. So they're accumulating tons of miles on their cars. So imagine that you're coming in looking for a new Lexus, and all of our new Lexuses have 4-year, 50,000-mile warranties, bumper-to-bumper warranty, except the maintenance items. And you're looking at a 1-year-old vehicle, which is a Lexus, 1-year-old. It would entitle you to a 5-year, unlimited mileage warranty. So if you're driving, let's say 50,000 miles a year, and you have a 5-year warranty, basically that amounts to a 250,000-mile warranty on that car. And you got to take a step back because it goes to what Shane was speaking about with the Toyota brand and Lexus brand about reliability. No manufacturer is going to stand behind a car like that where you can drive 50, 60, 70, or even 100,000 miles.
You may need a couple of cars to get through that many miles.
Yeah, I have a short little thing I want to
But not with a Toyota or
and
a
I
Lexus.
have to tell you, I've had several Lexuses now that I've driven well in excess of 175,000 miles. And we have clients that drive with hundreds of thousands of miles. One in particular, the OS.
On that note right there, this is a great story. Sharon's brother and his wife, they live in Jacksonville. Sharon's parents are in an assisted living facility in Jupiter and Mangrove Bay. Well, Guy does a lot of traveling back and forth to go down to Mangrove Bay to see his parents. So he was renting cars up in Jacksonville and renting a car and driving it down to Jupiter like every weekend to see his parents down there. So they called me on the phone. They said, "Hey, we're interested in buying a couple of Lexus vehicles." And I went, "Oh man, you never want to sell your family a car."
Sure you do.
So, well, when you're selling them a Lexus or a Toyota product, then
You're-
that
yeah,
kind of
they're
eases
okay,
the
yeah.
tension. But you know what I'm saying? They're friends and family
Yeah.
purchasing cars. So anyway, they drove down from Jacksonville to go to Mangrove Bay, and on their way back, they called me on the phone and said, "Hey, we want to come by and look at a couple Lexus products." And boom, sure enough, both of them bought Lexus certified pre-owned cars with the warranties that Steve is talking about. So now Guy's driving back and forth. He doesn't have to worry about the mileage on his was more important than the time frame. So he's going to put 60,000 miles a year on this automobile.
And really, Gary, just to clarify, because the other manufacturers out there, this is not a powertrain warranty. This is a bumper-to-bumper warranty. If the air conditioning goes, if the shock goes, if this goes, if that goes, now anything with the engine, anything mechanical goes on that car.
I would say if you were looking to buy new anywhere else, you're better off buying
The pre-owned,
used.
yeah. And that's the way.
Right.
And then we steered them in that direction because we knew what budget they were working with.
And
they love us. They're sending me boxes of steaks, and they're just sending me steaks.
And the
They
fun
loved
part,
it so much.
The fun part is that, a lot of people, they want to drive a luxury car and they think they can't afford it. And it's I hear this all the time. And of course, you're driving by this dealership that is a magnificent masterpiece. So people say, "Oh my God, it might be too expensive to go in there." Well, first off, when you hear the lease specials that we have going on, you could afford to walk in there. Okay, but more importantly, people who are looking to buy a $35,000 brand new car, okay, a middle of the line type car, come into our store. And for the same type of money, get a certified car with a much, much better warranty, sometimes 2 or 3 times the warranty than you do in another type of new car. And instead of driving just an ordinary car, you can be driving a full-fledged luxury car with great financing terms, probably unequivocally the best warranty in the business, and the car will last and go forever as long as you maintain it and take care of it. So it really appeals to so many people across the band. So, let's face it, everybody wants to drive something a little more, something nicer, But speaking of affordability, listen to this. So for this month right now, going through July 31st, and rumor has it that it might be renewed, you can come into our dealership and buy a brand new ES350 of 2017, and for 60 months get 0% financing. Now, I've been with Lexus 15 years. Never to this date have they ever offered on a midsize car 0% financing. It's the deal of deals, not only because you're not paying interest, but consider that interest rates are ticking up. We know that the cost of owning a car is going to be more expensive down the road. So here's a perfect opportunity to be able to get one of the best-selling cars in its class. It's our number 2 bestseller right behind the RX. The quality is unequivocally the best in the business. And when you get in this car and drive it, it's whisper quiet. It's got great performance. It's got room for 5 adults. And it's got an industry-leading warranty. And now with 0% financing, it really has to be a consideration for anybody looking at a car. It has to be. So right now, the RX in 2017, which is rated the safest vehicle sold in the United States by the Highway Safety Institute, with a small down payment, it's $399 a month plus tax, or with 0 out of pocket, it's $479 a month plus tax for 36 months with a 10,000 mile a year lease. Now, what's interesting, we said earlier at the top of the show that the average car payment is $500 a month, and that's to finance it for 60 months. Here, you get the best-selling luxury sport utility on the market, which we have 23% of the entire market is Lexus RX. And it's the safest car sold in the country now. So for $479 a month with no money out of pocket, great deal. Our inventory has shrunk considerably on the CT200H. We're just down to a handful of them. It's $298 a month without a dollar out of pocket. That is an incredible to come into
great.
a luxury premium dealership and to drive out in a car under $300 a month plus tax. Let's face it. What did you say to me when you came into the Lexus store? You said, well, that car, you could lease it a little cheaper than some of the Toyotas, which you can. It's the same price as a Toyota Corolla. And here you're getting a CT200H premium car. Now, the cool thing is we have 3 cars, that you can lease for $299 a month plus tax. The NX200T, which is our small sport utility that came out in 2015, rave reviews, selling like hotcakes.
Yeah,
Cannot keep them in stock. Cannot. That car's $299 a month with a modest down payment of $29.95. The IS200T, which is the 4-door sports sedan, also that car with $29.99 down also is $299 a month. And this is not stripped cars; these are well-equipped cars. And also an essential build ES350, just shy of $40,000 MSRP, with a down payment of $36.99 is $299 a month. So this is really incredible pricing. We have the RC200T, which is our sport coupe, $349 a month with a small down payment. The GS200T Turbo is $399 a month with $3,800 out of pocket. And our full-size V8 GX460, which is an amazing
My
four-wheel
favorite
drive vehicle.
vehicle.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Mine too. It's the only sport utility with a V8 engine that you could drive on the highway and hear a pin drop. That's how quiet it is. It's amazing. $479 a month with $3,100 out of pocket. So these are just incredible deals right now. They're going on through July 31st. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about our new hot rod, our LC 500. We've been sold out actually for a couple of weeks, and we just got in the last few days. We have a white with red leather LC gas version with 470 plus horsepower, 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds. This car,
The silver onene's gone.
silver one is
We're
way
selling
gone.
5
Yeah.
of those.
Everyone we get that we're selling them, and it's interesting because we get calls from
It's got
all
the look.
the look. Let me tell you, it's got the sound and the look, and it's really rated not only at this fabulous new sports car that's probably tens of thousands of dollars cheaper than its competition, but what we find really cool is that the sound of this car, when you turn the key, this thing sounds like no other car you've heard, and in the showroom it just resonates. So we make it a point to start it 3 times a day, okay? And it doesn't matter who's in the showroom, and everybody turns around and, oh my God, what's that? It just reeks of performance.
That car is bad fast.
But it also has all the new and latest and greatest technology in the car, and it's really it looks like it's going 200 miles an hour.
It is gorgeous.
It is. Everybody who comes in, it's a breathtaking looking car, and the fortunate few will have that car.
Yep.
We have leased every one of them, and I believe that it's a pretty reasonable payment for a car of that stature and that price. And most of the people, when we talk about leasing versus buying, they said, well, we're probably going to buy it afterwards, the 3 years and keep it.
I was thinking 3 years down the road, I'd
Yeah.
come shopping.
You would.
Yeah,
And you will.
So really, it's kind of a lease-to-own program, if you will. And Lexus gave us a great lease program through Lexus Financial Services. And we really can't talk. I can talk about this car for hours on end. It's in my sleep already. It is just gorgeous. It's the best-looking car. I know I've been doing this all my life, and I have great passion for every kind of car that's out there. This is something so extraordinary and so beautiful. It's just sexy looking, and it sounds great. It's fast. It handles at corners, and you have the reliability of a Lexus product.
How do you really feel about the car, Steve? Tell me that.
Oh, I hate it.
Don't hold back.
I'm surprised there's not one in my garage yet, but
Yeah, me too.
it is absolutely beautiful. But anyway, we're just about at time. So Shane, I'd like to thank you.
Oh, thank you for
Best
having
of luck.
me.
Great
Listen,
selling.
Please come down and see myself or any of the professionals down there. We have a great management staff. We'd love to have you down there and show you all these new products. And so please just come in and ask for Shane when you come in, and I'd be more than happy to go over all the specials like you were going over and show. And you'll be excited once you see him as well.
Congratulations to your team, to
Thank
Treasure
you
Coast
again.
Toyota of Stewart.
Thank you.
It's on US 1, right in the heart of Stewart. It
Right
is
by
the
Salerno
fastest growing Toyota dealership in the entire United States, and
Yep.
we have it right here on the Treasure Coast.
It's awesome.
And come visit us at Treasure Coast Lexus, which is on US 1, just south of Midway Road. The best deals on the Treasure Coast and the best luxury cars.
And of course, the Treasure Coast Car Guys back next Tuesday. You're listening to WPSL Port St. Lucie, WSTU Stewart.
CBS